Get ready for a knockout week of combat sports news. UFC London is bringing the heat with a stacked card full of English talent, while two massive comeback fights are being hyped and a major debate is raging about fighter pay. We're diving deep into the UFC London card, spotlighting the English fighters ready to shine on home soil, from rising stars like Luke Riley and Christian Leroy Duncan to fan favorites like Michael, Venom, Page. And don't miss the must-watch fights for the rest of March, including some absolute barn burners you can't afford to miss. Then, we're talking big comebacks. Ronda Rousey is set to return against Gina Carano in a highly anticipated showdown, but is it enough to top the stacked UFC Freedom 250 card? UFC legend Daniel Cormier weighs in, and we've got all the details. Plus, a fierce debate is igniting over UFC fighter pay, with Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman calling for change. It's all happening this week in combat sports. Stick around for all the breakdowns, the debates, and the biggest stories. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single second. Let's get into it.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the Pop Sockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Home crowd advantage. UFC London is set to explode with a massive contingent of English fighters ready to put on a show at the O2 Arena. This isn't just another fight night. It's a celebration of British MMA talent, with nearly half the 14-bout card featuring fighters competing on home soil. From the featherweight main event clash between England's Lerone Murphy and Russia's Movsar Evlov, to the co-main event spotlight on rising star Luke Riley facing American Michael Aswell Jr. The energy is going to be electric. We'll see all-English showdowns like Michael, Venom, Page taking on Sam Patterson, and Christian Leroy Duncan looking for his fourth consecutive win against Roman Dolidze. Plus, featherweight Curtis Campbell and strawweight Chanel Dyer make their highly anticipated UFC debuts after earning contracts on Dana White's Contender Series. Even fighters like Mario Pinto, who trains out of England, and Scotland's Louis Sutherland, who trains in England, are part of this massive European presence. Nathaniel Wood, a London native, aims to extend his winning streak on home turf against Luzin Keita, and Melissa Mullins opens the card against Brazil's Luana Carolina, who has a history of tough nights in London. With several undefeated fighters also on the card, including Riley, Campbell, Pinto, Iwo Baranowski, and Axel Sola, this event promises non-stop action and potential upsets. The fight card has fans buzzing about the sheer amount of local talent, with many expecting a raucous atmosphere and incredible performances. But will the hometown heroes deliver? And what's next for the UFC featherweight division after the main event? 5 fights you absolutely cannot miss as March wraps up. MMA KO's Drew Beaupre breaks down the must-watch matchups heating up the octagon. Beyond the main and co-main events, this list dives into the fights that promise fireworks and potential upsets. We're talking about the electrifying showdown between Axel Sola and Mason Jones, where two undefeated fighters clash with everything on the line. Then, get ready for the highly anticipated UFC debut of Octagon MMA star Luzin Keita, who faces the seasoned veteran Nathaniel Wood, with the London crowd firmly behind him. We're also highlighting Sam Patterson's incredible 4-fight streak of first-round finishes as he steps up to face the returning Michael, Venom, Page, who is making a move back to welterweight. And for the hardcore fans, the matchup between Terrence McKinney and Nazem Belgaroui guarantees a finish, as both fighters are known for their explosive striking and quick knockouts. Plus, we've got a clash of finishers in the lightweight division with Terrence McKinney set to face off against a dangerous opponent, ensuring someone is getting sent home early. Fans are already debating which of these under-the-radar fights will steal the show and deliver the most excitement. But is this the only big fight card making waves? And what happens when MMA legends collide outside the UFC? Can a comeback fight between two legends truly rival the biggest UFC event of the year? Daniel Cormier weighs in on the massive Ronda Rousey vs. Gina Carano card. Most Valuable Promotions is gearing up for a massive event on May 16th, headlined by Ronda Rousey's highly anticipated return to combat sports against Gina Carano. This star-studded card, set to stream on Netflix, also features a grudge match between former UFC stars Nate Diaz and Mike Perry, and a heavyweight clash with former UFC champion Francis Ngannou facing Philippe Lins. However, UFC Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier is skeptical, stating on his YouTube channel that this card has no chance of topping the stacked UFC Freedom 250 event scheduled for June 14th. That blockbuster card features a lightweight title unification bout between Ilia Topuria and Justin Gaethje, and an interim heavyweight title fight between Alex Pereira and Cyril Gane. Cormier emphasized that while the Rousey Carano event is creating a real platform for fighters outside the UFC, it doesn't compare to the scale and prestige of a UFC-promoted event, especially one held at the White House. Fans are divided, with many excited about the star power of Rousey and Carano, while others agree with Cormier that the UFC's biggest events remain unmatched in terms of competition and stakes. But if these mega-fights are happening outside the UFC, what does it mean for the fighters inside it? And are they getting paid what they're worth? Are UFC fighters being paid what they deserve? Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman are calling for a major shakeup in fighter compensation. The debate over UFC fighter pay has reached a fever pitch, with former champions like Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman leading the charge. They argue that the current pay structure, especially in light of lucrative broadcasting deals like the $7.7 billion agreement with Paramount, leaves fighters undercompensated compared to athletes in other major sports like the NBA, NFL, and MLB. Cejudo and Usman believe a significant change is needed, urging fighters and their managers to unite and negotiate more effectively with the UFC. They point to instances of former champions working side jobs and question long-term contracts offered to stars like Alex Pereira, wondering if the best fighters are truly getting a fair share of the promotion's massive revenue. The conversation is fueled by recent events, including Conor McGregor and Jon Jones publicly questioning the UFC's business practices and the lack of direct fighter benefit from new deals. Fans and analysts are weighing in heavily, with many agreeing that a more equitable pay distribution is long overdue, while others question how such changes could be implemented within the current model. Will this call for change lead to action, and what other major fights are on the horizon? And that's a wrap on another massive week in combat sports. We saw UFC London packed with English talent, previewed the must-watch fights for the rest of March, debated the Rousey vs. Carano card against UFC Freedom 250, and dove deep into the fighter pay controversy with Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman. What a week. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for all your combat sports news, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let us know your thoughts on fighter pay in the comments below, and follow us on all social media platforms.